Hey, so as people continue to join, I am just going to get us started. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Maximizing Your EBS Investment, Driving Efficiency Through Smarter Use of Existing Technology. I'm Stephanie, and I will be moderating today's session, and I'd just like to thank everyone for taking the time to join us today. So, we have two great presenters with us. First, we have our very own product specialist, Lily Mazieres, who has extensive experience working directly with and helping customers implementing and supporting Oracle EBS. We are also super thrilled to have solution engineer at Oracle, Terry Walton, with us today. For over 3 decades, Terry has been a driving force in digital transformation, helping organizations modernize and grow. He brings a blend of strategic insight, strong leadership, and hands-on execution that builds reliable revenue channels and delivers measurable results. But before we pass it off to Lily and Terry, I just want to go over a couple of things real quick. So everyone will receive today's recording by the end of the week, so please keep a lookout for that. And then after Terry and Lily present, we will begin our Q&A portion. So during the session, feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box down below or in the chat. We will only answer them during the Q&A part just to allow everyone to hear the entirety of the presentation and to hop off at the end if needed. But I do really strongly encourage everyone to stick around and ask any questions you may have because we have two great experts here who are ready to give some insight. But enough from me, so let's get started. Terry?
Great, thank you very much. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're joining from within the world. And it's an absolute pleasure to be here today and happy to take any questions you have as we go through this or any sort of follow-on conversations that you wish to have with either myself from an Oracle perspective or with more for apps. My name is Terry Walton, and as introduced earlier, I work within Oracle's Centre of Excellence for Solution Engineers, and I mainly focus on e-business suite for all of our customers across Western Europe. But my background is over 35 years of working with predominantly Oracle products, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here, particularly with one of our leading partners, More for Apps, that are an Oracle certified organization, and they are fantastic at helping customers running with e-business suite like yourselves. And it's really about working smarter rather than harder. Now, if you've ever used products like Web ADI or Oracle Standard Data Loads, you'll know exactly how powerful they can be, but also how painful they can become. You know, maybe Web ADI breaks because of Microsoft updates. That happens to me quite frequently. Maybe you have challenges trying to manage things like descriptive flex fields or attachments, and you need to go and involve IT to try and help solve some of those problems for you. Or maybe the process is just slow or very error prone. Now, if that's the case, you're not alone. This is something that I hear from a lot of my customers as I speak to different teams across finance, procurement, HR all the time. Now, these challenges eat into the productivity and make it harder to get real value from your investment you've made with Oracle products. And from an Oracle perspective, you know, we see that pain and we share that with you. And this is why it's fantastic to have More for Apps here today. So talking about More for Apps, you know, what I like is that they provide a suite of Excel-based tools that connect directly to eBusiness Suite, allowing you to update, upload, validate in real time, all from within Excel. You can pull data out of EBS, you can make those changes, you can validate it instantly, and more importantly, you can push it back into EBS without needing IT support. And critically, it's that validation and error checking is a key thing. Templates that they have are fully reusable. They handle attachments, those descriptive flex fields. And I guess most importantly for me is they're upgrade proof, meaning that they'll work through any Oracle patching that you do, as well as Microsoft updates. So in short, you know, this all helps speed and introduces the flexibility of, you know, Excel, but also the control and that data integrity that you get with Oracle E-Business Suite. So it's going to be really exciting today, and we'll see some very, I think, really compelling sessions. And what I really like is that, you know, you're going to see how practically, you know, real world examples, how these tools can really benefit you and your organization, particularly in that upload, updating e-business suite. Now that could be a release 11. We've got customers that are still on release 11, although obviously I would encourage you to upgrade to a 12.2. And again, it's about doing those updates directly from an Excel interface, getting immediate error feedback. You don't want it to load into the interface and then have to fix it. So understanding if there's any validation errors and things like that before it hits the database is critical for improving that efficiency. Managing those attachments, DFFs, custom layouts, you know, all with ease. By extending Oracle's native functionality with more for apps, I personally think, you can eliminate a lot of these manual bottlenecks, reduce those errors, and give your teams more time to focus on the value add work, while staying completely aligned within your Oracle E-Business Suite environment. So thank you again for joining us. We're really excited to show you some of the art of the possible. As you watch the video and the demonstrations today, just have a think about, perhaps one process within your organization where data entry or uploads slow you down your day-to-day work, because that's exactly where the tools can have an immediate impact for you and make that immediate difference. So let's dive into the details, see some of the tools in action. So at this point, I'd love to pass it over to Lily. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for a great intro. And hi, everyone. So I'm truly thrilled to be co-presenting with our Oracle partner today and to show you how you can unlock maximum efficiency in EBS. So for those who don't know me, I'm Lily Mazieres, one of the senior product specialists here at More for Apps. I spent the last 2 decades in the Oracle ecosystem, 10 years supporting Oracle applications, and then 7 years at More for Apps. So during that time, I've spoken to countless organizations and helped them solve the data entry challenges they had, such as the one Terry just highlighted. So before we dive into the core presentation and demonstration, we want to understand a little bit more about the specific data entry methods you use and the pain points you currently have. So we're going to start with a quick poll before going any further.
Bring that up.
So first, awesome. Okay. First, we would like to understand where you are on your ERP journey.
I'll give everybody like another 10 seconds. We won't keep it lingering. Okay.
All right.
Can you see that, Lily?
Yes, I think we still have half of the people that have not answered the question. If
I know. I just kept it quick because we have so much to get through. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, we can see that most of you are planning to stay on EBS. Yeah, it's logical. It's a big change to move to cloud and not always useful. So let's move to the second question. How do you currently enter data into Oracle? And yeah, feel free to pick a few options if applicable. And if you use any other data entry method that are not listed here, please describe them in the chat. I see that some of you are already using More for Apps, which is great to hear. Many people are still doing manual data entry.
Someone said black line. The chat.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There you go.
All right. Good. Last question, then I will be the one talking for the rest of the time. So what is your biggest challenge with data loading? And again, if you're experiencing any other challenge, because we listed only a few here, feel free to describe them in the chat. All right, so I see a bit of everything, time-consuming processes because they are manual, as well as data accuracy and validation issues, a bit of everything.
Which is what we see across my customer base. So I think everybody's who's voted today, they're on the right course here today to hear about More for Apps. So I think it's really valuable. So you're consistent. If you're thinking you're the only one with these problems, you're not. So I think you're going to really get something out of today's event.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we talk to people with similar issues every day at More for Apps. All right, so that's all for the poll questions. Thanks everyone for this good information. So the result we just saw perfectly confirm what we hear when talking to organizations. In fact, when we look at how data is entered on EBS, we typically see 3 common methods. Each serves a distinct purpose while offering a unique balance of benefits and drawbacks. So first, we have manual data entry, of course. This is the core native Oracle Forms experience. It's used typically when you have a single ad hoc transaction to enter one invoice, one master data to update. The major benefit is that it ensures 100% immediate front-end validation because you are directly using the Oracle Forms logic. So it's safe. But as the volume increases, manual keying quickly becomes slow, highly error-prone, and let's be honest, it's very boring. So as I've learned from talking to many Oracle users, nobody wants to be entering data all day long. So people would much rather focus on added value tasks than spending evenings and sometimes weekends on updating price lists, suppliers, or bills of materials. Next, we move to Web ADI. So this is a key tool designed by Oracle itself for specific bulk tasks, particularly in financial. As you know, it supports mostly those areas, those financial areas. So the benefit is obviously that it will allow users to rapidly enter high volumes of data through a spreadsheet. But there are no limitations. The first one is that it doesn't cover all functional areas of Oracle. And then the second one is that it doesn't contain all the fields available on the front end. So you need you don't have a descriptive flex fields or attachments, as Terry just mentioned. And finally, we have custom solutions. This category includes everything from bespoke interfaces, technical loading utilities, such as data load, or RPA, robotic process automation. So those are powerful tools typically used by IT for large projects or highly specialized interfaces to import data from other systems. The key advantage is that they provide maximum technical control, allowing IT to design unique, complex logic specific to the project need or specific to like the organization. But they require significant IT skills to build, maintain, and change, which is leading to inflexibility, obviously. And they also typically lack a user-friendly front-end validation layer, causing errors to be discovered late in the process. So to summarize, while each method has its benefits, none of these options provide a flexible, feature-rich, and scalable platform that is easy for the business users, covers all functional areas, and ensures maximum data quality, which leaves us with gaps in our data entry processes. So this is why MorphApps was founded 25 years ago to fill those gaps left by standard methods. So we address these challenges with 4 key pillars. First, we offer a single consistent experience for all Oracle modules, from purchasing to financials. You'll be doing everything from one intuitive platform, which is Excel. Then our out-of-the-box product support all unique needs, which include descriptive flex fields, attachments, and our templates are flexible, so you can totally customize the layout to match your process and your need without the IT help. And most critically, we validate data before sending anything to Oracle. So you get clear, user-friendly feedback against each record, ensuring 100% data quality. And finally, it's a reliable platform. It's fully supported across all Oracle versions, EBS, Microsoft versions as well. So it's really designed to handle high volume loads consistently and reliably. So by focusing on these 4 areas, the idea is to put the Oracle users more in control of their data and get more, so that they can get more time for valuable tasks. So we have a number of use cases that people use our tools for. I wanted to share just a few customer stories that illustrate the kind of challenges people face in Oracle EBS and show how they were resolved. So the first story here involves the large government administration that needed to complete a massive data cleansing project as part of preparing for an acquisition. The problem is that they had severe data quality issues. It's typically the case. Even this morning, I spoke to an organization having this kind of challenges. So here they were dealing with incomplete supplier address, duplicates. They also had 10,000 suppliers and customers records that hadn't been used for 3 years. So they wanted to deactivate them, not take them into the acquisition project. And they quickly found that building a custom solution would require significant cost, time, and effort. delaying their project. So manual update was also not feasible because of the kind of volume they had to deal with. So they turned to Morpher Apps EBS toolbox. Since our solution is Excel-based, they gave the tool to business users, so they were able to download data on the Excel interface and then identify and fix master data quickly from this interface. And they also deactivated lots of suppliers, 10,000 suppliers and customers using our tool. So they didn't take those in the migration. And our tool provides clear feedback on each record. So they never had to leave the comfort of Excel and were guaranteed to have a good data quality in the end. So thanks to that, they had a successful acquisition project. They were able to perform the entire data cleansing operation without needing extra IT customization or staff training. Crucially, they saved an estimated 4 months in the data cleansing compared to building a custom solution. So this demonstrates how maximizing your EBS investment is about using simple complementary technology to keep critical projects on time and budget. So the second story is from one of the largest shipping companies in the world using WebADI to create GL journals. So unfortunately, they had a Microsoft upgrade that suddenly caused issues in WebADI. So due to that issue, the IT team had to downgrade the finance users on an older version of Microsoft Office. And at the same time, they faced new compliance rules requiring extra information like DFF and documents to be attached on many journals. So WebADI does not support this out of the box, as we mentioned. So that was forcing them to handle this task manually. So they looked at Morpher Apps as a replacement for WebADI. Morpher Apps is actually also an Excel-based product like WebADI. It has the same look and feel, so it was easy to pick up for the users. And it offered the extra functionalities they were missing, so the attachments and DFFs. So by closing these gaps, users saved hours by eliminating this new manual task that they had to do for compliance rules. And the organization remained secure on the latest version of Excel without IT spending time troubleshooting compatibility issues and complex patching. So those are just 2 examples of the kind of problems we solve. Data entry and maintenance challenges exist across nearly every functional area of Oracle EBS, which is why Morpher Apps covers all modules, as you can see here on the screen. So as we saw in the first customer story, people use our tool for temporary projects, such as data cleansing before an acquisition or a migration, whether it's a new EBS version or moving to cloud. But most people use us also for business as usual activity, where they have big volumes of data to create or update. These cover tasks such as creating new price lists every quarter or every year, replacing obsolete components on bills of materials, updating project key members, and on project you can update many things obviously on a regular basis, and also creating their purchase orders, AR, AP transactions on a regular basis. So whether your need is a temporary project or a daily routine, we provide supported tools for all those cases, designed to manage your data entry efficiently. All right, so we've talked about the solution, but now it's time to see. So you might still be wondering, what is Morpher Apps exactly and how does it look? So we will move away from the slide and dive into a live demonstration. All right. So I'm going to show 2 use cases today on these demonstrations from 2 different functional areas. So I want to start with Supplier Wizard. Using this tool, you can create and update your suppliers. It's typically used for data cleansing, but also business as usual activity, and keep your suppliers updated all the time. So on this first, this product is an Excel-based product, like all our products. It's based in Excel, and it consists of 2 components. First, the ribbon on top. From here, you can connect the spreadsheet to your Oracle instance and get data in and out of Oracle. And then the second part of the product is the template. Here you're looking at the supplier template, but all our templates have the same look and feel. So you have the feedback columns on the left, and then the clear columns are the data elements. The templates are entirely flexible for your needs. So let's say this first use case is about deactivating many suppliers that we don't want to take in our migration project. We want to deactivate them in EBS. So for that, I don't need many columns. I don't need the site or any other section from the supplier. So I can easily get rid of all sections and columns that I don't need. It's really just an Excel workbook. So you can keep only columns you need for your project. Then I would actually extract data from my EBS instance in order to work on those suppliers. For that, we have a download functionality. So we will use, in this first scenario, we will use the download form. So this form has many different criteria that you can choose in order to extract existing data. So for instance, we want to deactivate all suppliers that we used only one time. So they are actually of specific type, so that's great for us. We can select all the one-time suppliers. We can put a range of date if needed. In that case, I don't want to do that. If I want to focus my data cleansing project on a specific country or operating unit, I can do that as well. In this case, I'm just going to download them across all organizations, all operating units. So I will just highlight them all and extract them into Excel. All right, so now that they are downloaded, I want to put an end date to those. So for that, I can use any Excel functionality. In that case, I'm going to use a today's date. It's easy. And then we have a great way to accelerate your data entry, which doesn't exist in WebADI. You can default values on row 10. So anything I put in here will default on the blank rows below. So actually, I'm going to put my today's date on here, so I don't need to put that against each record. And I will put also the upload action update. So you can both create and update in this tool. I will just create. In here, I'm just going to introduce a mistake. So like I'm going to deactivate as of yesterday. I'm not allowed to do this, so you will see what happens. Then I will upload this data to Oracle. So with Morpher Apps, you always have the validation step first, the Morpher Apps validation step. So our records are pre-validated with the Morpher Apps validation before being loaded to Oracle. So we load only valid records to Oracle. And unlike other tools like data load, it won't tie up your computer. I can perfectly be working on anything else, on my emails, on another Excel workbook while it's loading, especially if I have 10,000 suppliers to deactivate. And then you can see here on the left that you get clear feedback. So green is good. It means those have been successfully updated in Oracle. They have been deactivated. And this one here was rejected. I get clear feedback. This is the incorrect value in my data set. I get a clear error message. The inactive date must be set as today's date or later. And then I can just easily copy paste the valid value. And then I can reprocess this record using upload selected. So it will just upload this one this time. And this is how you would deactivate suppliers very quickly, like 30 suppliers in, I think, less than 1 minute. So that's for the first scenario. Let me bring up another product, similar look and feel. It's the same functionality in the end. You have the ribbon and the template. This is GL Wizard. So using this tool, you can create your journals. You have added functionalities compared to WebADI. So you have additional sections, the attachment section, descriptive flex field. And from a single template, you can create your journals across multiple ledgers, currencies, periods. So this gives additional functionalities if needed. Then people would create new journals in many different ways. Sometimes they keep the same workbook that they save on their laptop, and then they just reuse the same workbook and just change the date, the period, and then re-upload. Sometimes people would actually extract an existing journal from Oracle and use that as a template to create a new journal. So that's easy to do that. You can use one of our download options to do this. So here I'm going to use the download using sheets data. So this consists in entering your download filter on the template and use that as a download filter. Right, and then I can just adjust this to match the current period. So I can just quickly change this information. And if I make any mistake, it will catch it anyway. So I cannot really make anything wrong here because it will have Morpher apps pre-validation, making sure that I upload correct data to Oracle. Then if at any point I need to check list of values, or I'm not too sure which field is mandatory, I can actually bring up one of the user forms. So I can double click on any section to bring up the form. For instance, I want to load attachments, but it's the first time I do this and I'm not too sure which field is mandatory. I can bring this up and it will highlight the mandatory fields in yellow, so I can easily know what I have to enter. All right, I will put some attachments, file attachment. In this case, you can do also other types of attachments which are supported in Oracle. On the front end, you have the same attachment types also in this product. And then, as I mentioned, same with all our products, this template is flexible. So if I'm not reversing journals for this particular batch, I can just get rid of the columns. So that way I keep only a minimum number of columns. It's easy to work with. And then when my dataset is ready, I can upload to Oracle. So as you can see on the options here, you have also the ability to validate only. This doesn't process anything to Oracle. This is just to validate within Excel. So this is quite useful when you have 10,000, 100,000 records to upload. You might want to validate a small batch to start with, like 10 rows, just to make sure that you haven't made the same mistakes on all rows, which is typically what happens to me when I do big uploads. So when I choose validate and upload like I did here, it also starts with the Morpher apps validation. So you could see here that it started by validating those records before sending them to Oracle. So here I get clear feedback that my journal is not balanced. So I can just go to the credit and debit and make sure that it's balanced. And then I can just put my cursor anywhere on this record and re-upload the selection to reprocess this particular journal that failed the first time. And again, I will get clear feedback. So if I missed anything, it will be caught by Morpher apps validation. So now those are pending, which means they are standing in the Oracle interface table. So here it's exactly the same as WebADI. Actually, at Morpher apps, we always use Oracle technology to load data to Oracle. So we ever use Oracle APIs or Oracle interface. So in that case, we are loading data in an interface table. And then we need to submit the standard Oracle program to move those records from the staging area, the interface tables, to the Oracle forms. And actually, I submitted the import automatically here. So I don't need to submit the concurrent program. It's been done automatically, but I can monitor the program from here. So I don't need to leave Excel at any point. All my process can be done from this spreadsheet. I can see that the journal import is already complete. So I can just click on this icon here to refresh and get the final status. At this point, it's asking me if I want to see, to get the batch and journal name back on the sheets, which I want because I want to see what's been created in Oracle. And then it's asking me if I want to load attachments, which I say yes to. So all of this from Excel, you're doing the whole process from Excel here. And you get the final feedback. So if like you got an issue during the interface program, you will get feedback also, and you will get clear visibility on what has not been created in Oracle. So if it's green, it means it's all good. It's been created in Oracle successfully. So if I need to summarize, like you get a tool that is a single spreadsheet, you can do everything from a single template. You have a flexibility, you can remove all sections, columns you don't need. You get clear feedback. You have the Morpher apps validation on top of the Oracle validation. So you get clear feedback on each record. We load only correct records, and then you have. The ones you need to fix that are clearly highlighted in the template to easily spot them. And then it's reliable. This tool works across all EBS version from 11i to the latest version of EBS. And we actually have similar tools on cloud. So let me just jump to the next slide, just to show you that if you're planning to move to cloud, we offer similar products on cloud. And we are building new products every quarterly release. We add new products to our cloud suite. All right. So I guess I open the floor to questions for myself or Terry.
All right, so we will do our Q&A portion for like the next 10 to 15 minutes. If we run out of time, we can certainly take a lot of questions offline or just continue. But yeah, we'll start out. So we do have a couple already. So for Lily, can more fraps be used to update and maintain allocations defined within EBS?
All right, so that I might need a bit more information on which functional areas we are talking about here, because allocation doesn't ring a bell to me.
Yeah, Derek, if you want to add into the chat what you mean, go for it. One for Terry. So our organization has no plans of migrating to Fusion. Are you seeing similar trends with other organizations?
It's interesting. It varies greatly by region, and I'm currently based in the UK, although I cover all Western Europe, and the UK is notoriously slow at adopting new technologies compared to other regions. So I would say we're seeing more of a shift in North America than we are across Western Europe, and even less of a shift if you look at ECME region, where data residency and things like that are a huge concern. What we are seeing, though, is a lot of people are speaking to yourselves and are looking for ways to cleanse data and what they're calling like get fit, get ready for the future. So they're looking at that sort of data cleansing, the housekeeping activity, which can be twofold benefit for them. Getting ready for reducing perhaps the number of suppliers that Lily very nicely showed how you can quickly update those. So redacting that down to the right size moving forward. And that also then has a license impact as well. So we're seeing a lot of people, possibly reducing license implication by doing that housekeeping, but also preparing for that move. And I would say on average, we have anywhere, again, it varies by region, 3 to 10% of the install base are considering moving or actively in that program of activity to move to the cloud project at any point in time. But for Western Europe, I still have over 1,500 EBS customers that buy the licenses in our region and are still actively using it. And obviously, there's a much larger community of customers that perhaps buy out of North America or Japan, but still operate within my region. So a bit of a long-winded answer, but we are seeing people move, but not as fast as perhaps the marketing perception from an Oracle perspective would suggest.
Great. Okay, back to that first question, Lily. He is speaking of mass allocations that are defined in the GL manager or super user responsibilities. So can more fraps be used to update and maintain them?
I don't believe so. From the top of my head, I don't think we have any tool for that. So the thing to remember is that we build tools if we have the Oracle APIs. So if there are no Oracle APIs to handle this task, we don't have any tool for that. So that this specific process doesn't ring a bell, but I will double check and let you know after the webinar.
Sounds good. I don't know if you have time for this one, but can you please show multiple lines on single payments, how this would be set up, and can there be negative lines?
Right, so it depends what we are talking about. If we are talking about AR or AP payments, we only support AR payments, and we support, of course, multiple lines on the payment, and you can have negative lines as well. All right, so AP payments, it is same thing. I'm very unlucky today because I typically don't get questions about the tools we don't support, but it's the same AP payment. There are no Oracle APIs, so we were not able to build a loader to load those. at least on the EBS side, it's going to be a different story on cloud.
Question for accounts receivable. Is there a way to upload one backup file for several receipts, or do we need to attach them individually?
No, you will be able to attach your files using Morpher apps. Yeah.
Like it's one file, or right? Is that what you mean? This one's in the Q&A box if you want to read it.
Right. Yeah, that might be easier for me to read the question.
Yeah.
Just bring that up. Right. Okay, but I was not opening the right one. So yeah, is it upload as an attachment? Upload backup files as an attachment? If it's the case, you can upload as many attachments as you like for several receipts at the time. Yeah, you can do a bulk upload of multiple receipts with attachments. Okay, great. I think I.
Okay, and then another one for Terry. So will Oracle continue to support and invest in EBS in the future? With the, I guess with the whole transitioning to cloud, I guess there's still fear about EBS.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, short answer is yes. We've got a rolling Premier support, 10-year rolling Premier support, so it's through to at least 2036 at the moment. And the 12.2.15 is the most recent release of EBS that came out within the last month. Lots of new features in there. I would say some of the product lines or product pillars, things like the VCP products, we are investing less in, with a move to more of a hybrid operating environments where you've got some of those in cloud and you run that with e-business suite. I think the challenge for many customers is that hybrid approach. And again, if you think of from a jurisdiction where you're allowed in data residency perspective, often that's an inhibitor for them, which is why Oracle is still very actively supporting customers and still developing the product. Obviously, it has less investment than the cloud products, but there is new investment and new products and new features and functions being delivered on a very frequent basis, whether that be on an annual basis as a major support release for e-business suite. HR and payroll, they come out on a off-cycle release, usually around about the summer. And then you have things like the enterprise command centers, which come out typically 2 times a year. So yes, we're still investing and we're happy to help customers leverage those new features and functions with partners like Morpher Apps, and also talk hybrid or how you would look to start that thinking about that transition to the Fusion products. But it makes sense for you.
Great. All right, another one for you, Lily. Can you add formulas to the update spreadsheet and have these be maintained as data import/exports occur as they occur? Yeah. Do you see that?
Yes, totally. So you basically get all the Excel functionalities intact with Morpher Apps templates, because we are working on a standalone Excel workbook. So all Excel formulas are available. There are some cool features in Excel now. You can use AI. You have, for data cleansing, people use that. You have some specific data cleansing tool into the Excel functionality. So yeah, lots of our customers are using XLOOKUP, VLOOKUPs, all sorts of formulas, so that they don't need to enter much information on the Morpher Apps template. It's done pretty much automatically.
Great. And another one for you, Terry. How do you balance IT involvement versus end user autonomy when implementing new solutions?
Well, that's always a difficult one, isn't it? I think if a project can be an IT core, so if you can express what the business value of what something is. So in the case here, you've seen about sort of the speed and efficiency of being able to use Morpher Apps tools to cleanse data, to load data, things like that. I think it's a very easy thing to then take IT on the journey. What we see often is a IT push of a project. Maybe that's an upgrade, or maybe it's a transition of platforms. Has no business interest because they see no immediate value, but obviously you need underlying infrastructure and technologies to make all these things work efficiently to run the business. So it's a tricky one. I think I would say, work with Oracle or work with the partners to understand the business benefit and always lead it from the business perspective. But there's a lot of technology out there. There's a lot of evolving technologies. There's a lot of hype around some of the technologies, and really understanding the use case and where it would benefit you as an organization is critical to the success, whether that be an IT project that they're leading or a business project which IT are following.
Great. I think we only have a couple more, which is great because we're running out of time. Lily, are there any common pitfalls organizations encountered during large-scale data updates? I guess any that you've worked with?
Well, yeah, this one also is a bit tricky, hard to answer quickly on that one.
Yeah.
So I would say what I've seen in my previous life as a consultant and also talking to many organizations at Morpher Apps is that organizations typically underestimate the time, resource, and effort required to execute these large-scale data updates. So it's typically causing project delays and budget overruns because of that. So many reasons for that, if I can develop just a little bit. In my previous life as a consultant, I've seen that sometimes organizations don't realize the amount of data that needs to be updated. So they start doing that manually, and then they realize later that it's just a huge task and they won't be able to do that. And yeah, it will lead to project delays and budget overruns because of that. Sometimes they use custom solutions, but it also takes a lot of time and effort, and it's not flexible, so you cannot reuse that for future projects. And also it relies heavily on IT, so the business users are being left out of the project, or sometimes they are so far away from this custom solution that it leads to data quality issues and like slowing down the update cycle because there is a lot of back and forth between IT and business users. So that's why Morpher Apps can help, because you put the tool in the hand of users, they know the data, they are in full control, and this can really leverage their knowledge and ensure a quick project completion.
And it's
That's probably a good question for you too, Terry. Yeah, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, so I think the fact that it's audited as well, absolutely what we see is exactly what Lily described, that people underestimate the effort and the volume of data they have. Particularly with acquisitions and mergers or divestitures that I see a lot of across my region. That data's always the last thing that's considered in the project scoping, but obviously you can't go live without the data being accurate and correct. And I think it's that underestimating it and the quality of the existing data, the volume of open transactions, which purchase order with 2 lines on it, you received the line 1, but line 2 is never going to come. It was ordered 10 years ago. Clean it up. It can have license implications, as I said, but also performance implications as well. So it is just give yourself enough time, use the tools like you've seen today, and it will massively accelerate it and give you the confidence in the quality of the data, which I think is a key thing.
Great. Well, I think we are out of time actually. So, but if anyone has any other questions, feel free to just ask away offline. We'll get it in the right hands. But I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. And I'd like to give a big thank you to Lily and Terry for also joining us. Like I said, just please keep an eye out for the session recording, which will be sent by the end of the week. But Lily and Terry, do you have any parting final words that you would like to throw in?
From an Oracle perspective, thank you, Morpher Apps, for again, running this event. It's a fantastic tool. I've got many customers that rave about it. And if you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to reach out to the team for a bit more information. Perhaps give them some use cases that are pertinent to your particular situation. And as I say, from an Oracle perspective, we absolutely endorse it. It's using all the standard APIs. It improves the efficiency, and ultimately, I think you'll be delighted with the outcome if you proceed with it. So thank you for attending today, and thank you, Lily, for the excellent demonstrations.
Well, thank you, Terry, for joining. I think it was great to have your insight of all those challenges and what you see on the market. It's really great to have you today. And thanks everyone for joining. It's always great to hear feedback on how you currently handle data entry and what are your challenges. And if you want to see the tool in action, we offer free trial demonstration. So yeah, let us know. We can always discuss a bit more about your pain points.
Great. Well, thank you, Lily. Thank you, Terry. And thank you, everybody. And have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.